Now you've marked most of your clips and you kind of have an order of what you want to put it in. Let's go ahead and bring these clips into the timeline again. Now, we know we can drag them into the timeline, so let's turn it up a notch and talk a little bit about being very specific where you want things to go. I'm going to make sure the first clip is loaded into my timeline. I'm going to simply double-click to open it up. Now, I've created a folder called 00 closing sequence and threw some footage in there for you to work with, and it's going to be pretty obvious the order that I'm going to want you to put these clips in. So the first thing is taking the pizza out of the oven, and instead of throwing it onto the timeline and trimming it up there, I'm going to go ahead and mark an endpoint where I want the scene to start, but I'm not going to worry about where it ends just yet. So right when I start talking, I'm going to press an endpoint. If I hit play for a second, you'll see I'll make some inane comment. Now, I learned that when you can smell the food, it's done. Is that the best way to do it? So obviously you can see I definitely need cooking lessons, but that is where the endpoint should be. And in the case of not having anything on the timeline, if I use the keyboard shortcut to bring it in, or even if I hit one of the buttons, it's going to land in the right place. But not if I had moved my playhead. If my playhead is over here, and I go ahead and I press either an insert or an overwrite button, and we'll look at these in more detail in a later video, it actually puts the clip where that playhead is parked. And I really don't want that. It would be a pain. I'm going to have to drag it all the way back once I put the clip in. So instead of doing it wrong and having to fix it, let me go ahead and undo this. Command-Z is undo. Control-Z on a Windows machine. And I'll undo that, and I can either make sure that the playhead is at the very beginning and press my insert button, or if I wanted to really be sure, let me hit undo one more time, I could actually press the I key to mark an endpoint on my timeline. So I have an endpoint here. I just want you to see that. I endpoint. I'm going to drag that out of the way. Now, if I hit this button, the endpoint overrides the playhead. So that's just the thing you really want to walk away from, is that if there's no in or out point marked in your timeline, it will default to the location of the playhead, and if there is an endpoint, it trumps the location of the playhead. Let me go ahead and press the insert button, and you can see that the clip goes to the very beginning of the show. And as a matter of fact, the playhead then jumps back to the end of the clip because it's lining itself up for your next edit, assuming you just want to slug in one clip after another clip after another clip. Now let's do that one more time, leaving a space for the second clip. So I'm going to go ahead and just arbitrarily move this down. I'm going to select clip number 3 and mark an endpoint. I think always cutting on action is good, so just as I'm about to lift it out, I'll mark an endpoint, and now when I press insert, the clip is going to go where the playhead is parked, leaving me a nice space for my cutaway. As you can see, it's very easy to target in time where you want a clip to go on your timeline.